For all those who don't know us, we are PEP.
Good evening, fellas. Welcome to this episode of Fresh Start Live with Fee and Pat, where the motto is, stay ready to keep from getting ready. I'm Pat.
And I'm Fee.
So, man, what we got new today?
We got a lot of changes. I think this, even though I promised we're not going to change anything much beginning of the year, but we're going to change again.
Change is good.
All right. So, you have that feeling. It's like this is the very last time I'm doing something. It's I read a little bit of the saying that these children, that they normally get together in the playground, but they never know when would be their last time gathering together, and then not seeing each other again after that. But every gathering is always at the end. So the reason I'm saying that is we're going to go on to a series of videos starting from today. Is Pat and I going to talk about PEP from start to end on how we recruiting, how we start Leadership Academy, all the way until re-entry, because we felt like Pat could hit by a bus. Well, I could hit by the bus. We want to have something that is in place, and that way there is no disruption if anything happened. Right. So we are preventing the last time we meet at the playground, in a way.
That's right. So let's go into our updates. So in prison updates, so Estes is prepping for BPC while we're also prepping to start a new class of 80 men at Cleveland this coming Monday. So it's kind of like an end and a beginning that's preparing for the end. I think that's about all we have on the inside.
So how you just came back from ESSA. What happened over there?
So we went to record videos and get business plans to send out to executive volunteers, but it wasn't the quality that I felt that we were capable of producing. So we kind of scrapped them and started over, because we want to create a great experience for the guys and our executive volunteers as well. And I know that what we're capable of, and being immobile is not an excuse for us to not execute our ability. So I had a conversation with the guys, and they were like, we're going to get it done. So, yeah. All
right, so out here with reentry, still empty room. But every day we are getting closer. So, with the current backlog with the city, we run into a lot of issues. But hopefully we're going to get these things start demo pretty soon. And hopefully we'll be in a new place in June. First it was in April, but now it's June.
It's all right. Stay ready, keep them getting ready. They're going to move the cheese, move with the cheese, Okay.
So today we're going to start out with the interview. So the interview is when people who first come to PEP fill out an application, and a lot of people ask, what are you looking for in the application? You got the guys fill out these 20-page application. What are you looking for? Are you picking the best guy? Therefore you have a low recidivism, or what happened? But we have data that show that even though we pick a lot of guys, and some guy come to the unit and start PEP, some don't, some went home. Right. But the recidivism of those two groups are totally different, and all of these are guys that we accepted.
Right.
So what make the difference? Really, the application not quite what make the difference is how the people go through the program is what make the difference. So we're gonna have a very I'm not saying very interesting or very good videos, but we're having fun with these videos. I hope you like it, and I hope that give you a glimpse of what we're looking for when we're interviewing candidate for PEP.
That's right, and for some of you guys, it's going to be a treat that's going to take you down memory lane. So we ready to do this?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Douglas Jester.
That's it now?
Hey, yeah, how you doing? I'm
All
Marcus.
right. Hi, Marcus.
All right. So, why you want to be part of PEP?
Well, been down to the system several years, several times, and I'm just tired of this life.
Okay,
Just want something different.
okay. What is something different? What does that look like to you?
I don't know, I want to try something so I won't come back here again. I'm just tired of this place.
Okay. How many times you been down? How many times you
4
been
times.
in prison? 4 times?
times.
Okay. How long have you been incarcerated this time?
This time about 3 years, but on and off about 10 years.
Okay. And how long did you stay out from the last time to this time?
Well,
Looks like 5 months?
yeah, technically, it wasn't my fault that I come back this time, that's why, it's only 5 months, it just, you know how it is, in the wrong place at the wrong time. So
okay.
it's not something that I can control,
Okay. And you went back to your family's house, or did you go to a transitional
I'm
house?
comfortable going back to my family. They're very supportive of me. It's I've been gone several times, and coming back, they all embrace me, so it's comfortable to go home.
Okay. Says here that you give yourself a 70% chance of coming back to prison without PEP and unknown with PEP. So that sounds kind of ambiguous to me, like you're not really sure. So what makes up that 70%?
Well, you know how life is, you roll the dice, whatever come out, it's really hard to control, me going back to prison, because it's not me want to go back to prison.
Right.
It just, people around me, as much as we don't want to go back to prison, you know how it is. It just, you
Just
ride
got
in a
that
car
X
with
on your
someone
back.
and then you end up in prison. So
Yeah.
I'm just being real,
Okay.
70% is real.
Okay, so it's always a possibility.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay. Got a pretty extensive drug history too. What was your drug of choice? Says here.
At this time, probably nothing. But if I would ever to use it again, probably bar, so
Okay.
drugs over the counter. Not quite
Okay.
over the counter, but it's drug that prescription
Scripts.
drug.
Okay. Okay. So before it was methamphetamine, but if it was anything in the future, it'd probably be scripts.
Yeah, I'm not using any right now, but if I have to, going out there and I'm stressed out, I'm just being real.
Okay. Okay. So what classes have you taken since you've been down this time? You've been back
Well-
for about 3 years.
Well, I signed up for a lot of classes, but they always put me in waiting lists. So
okay.
I'm just never able to go any class.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here and waiting.
Okay.
So that's why I hope to get into PEP.
What unit were you on when we send you the application?
Unit right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I was at the GITS unit before I got transferred over here.
Okay. Okay. And you weren't taking any classes at the GIST unit? You weren't able to get into anything?
Well, I was on the waiting list.
On the waiting list. Okay. All right. Okay. Tell me how you've changed since the day that you committed your crime. This time.
I'm just sick and tired of, been to prison 4 times. So I think I set my mind, I'm not gonna coming back this time.
Okay. Have you ever set your mind before?
No, I think every time I came down, the last 3 times, I knew I was coming back.
Okay. All right. Okay. I think that gives me a pretty good feel. I'll read your essay later and see exactly what you put in there. But do you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, what can I do to increase my chance of going to PEP?
Well, I think there's really nothing that you can do on your end at this point. I think the rest is just an evaluation on our side. And if we feel like you're a good fit for the program, then we'll accept you. We have to consider all things, and then we'll see.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Marcus.
Marcus
Mr.
Hill.
Hill.
All right. Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you, too.
All right. Thank you. We'll let you know something pretty quick.
Okay.
All right. All right. So basically, when I evaluate Mr. Jester's application, I'm looking at everything here and some things that really stick out to me. One is the number of times that he's been down. He's been to prison 4 separate times. And although he's been down about 10 years over the course of his life of incarceration, he hasn't stayed out very long. And based on his application, I don't see anything that's really changed. So he's on the waiting list for some programs, but he's not actively involved in anything. And his application doesn't show me any active activities or anything that he's doing to stay free. So it may be in his heart, but as far as walking it out and taking advantage of the programs that are available, I know the unit that he was on. I know that there's some programs available there. I just don't see where he's invested in his own future and staying out of prison. So for me, this person would not be a good fit for the program. So I would lean towards not accepting this person into the program. Just no active change. A lot that may be in his heart or that may be in word, but not very much in deed or action. So my decision would be to not accept this person into the program. All right, Mr. Rios. We got a big one here. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Rios?
Bro, what's up?
Marcus Hill.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hill.
Have a seat, man.
All right.
Okay. You're a pretty big dude, man. How long you been down?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. How many times have you been to prison before?
TDC institution once, state jail once.
Okay. All right. I was looking over your application before you came in, just to see what questions I wanted to ask you. I see that you're presently involved in a vocational class.
Yes, I'm in a welding vocation.
Okay, and you finished that vocation probably around maybe March, April?
Yes, I have 5 weeks class now.
Okay, all right. Why did you take the vocation that you're in now?
One is a trade that's in demand, and I want to give myself every opportunity to succeed when I got out. So in studying what the employment market looked like on the outside, and the trade was available here, and I was like, let me go and learn. So that was my reason going in. But since I've been in, I've actually kind of fallen in love with the trade. Being able to take these hands and create something positive. So.
Okay, so you found something that you really connect with.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. All right, we ask a question. We say on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being a definite no, and then 5 being an absolute yes. Are you willing to move to a new location with PEP to help ensure your success? It says that you set a 5.
Yeah, so I'm in a position, Mr. Hill, where I feel like I need to move. So willing is kind of an understatement, because I made a lot of changes in my life in the last 4 years. And the reality of it is, the only option I have to go back to, there's no change there.
Okay.
So I can't expect to go there and impact them
Right.
without being impacted. So yeah.
Okay. And you've, I mean, this is not your first time down, so you've you learned that over time, or?
Yeah, I made the mistake the last time I got out, and I went home, paroled to my son's mother's house, and we weren't in the most healthiest relationship before I came to prison. And getting out of prison, because I hadn't changed, you know, I didn't care about what she changed. It was just the opportunity. Parole came to see me, I can go home, and there was an address. And going there, you know, almost immediately I knew that it wasn't the right place. But again, it was a combination of pride, and my only other option was my mother's house, which when I left my mother's house, that's somewhere I said I wouldn't go back to.
Okay.
So I stayed in that situation until I found myself in the situation that led to me coming back.
Okay. All right. All righty. Wow. So you give yourself a 0% chance of coming back to prison with or without PEP. Can you explain that to me?
Well, I feel like the outcome of any outcome we receive or end up with is product of our decision making. And I feel like my decision making and really thinking things through from a rational, more so than an emotional standpoint, I don't feel like prison is an option for me.
Okay.
Because I don't think that I can be in any situation to where I have to act or do something that's going to put me in a situation with that, because I'm going to control the people around me. I'm going to control the places I go. I'm going to control the things that I do. So.
Okay. What about chance? I mean, you know, you say once you got an X on your back, you know, there's always a chance of you coming back to prison.
And I'm a firm believer, as long as you allow that to reside in your mind, that's a crutch. And one of the things I refuse to do this time is leave with a crutch. When I left the last time, you could have asked me that, and I almost would have told you affirmatively, I'm coming back. Because my mindset then was the street don't play fair, so I got to beat the streets to what they do, but the streets are not an option for me anymore.
Okay.
You know, I got 3 kids who were growing up while I'm in here, and, you know, for me, they're a large part of my why. So that's not an option.
Okay.
It's not an option.
Okay. Looks pretty good. All right. I'm just wondering, you know, you say 0% chance with PEP, 0% chance without. Why PEP? Why do you think we should accept you into the program? Because I mean, I really feel like you're going to be good either way.
I'm going to be good, but one of the things that I've heard a lot about with PEP is community, which is something I was going to ask you about. Because I know that I need a positive group of individuals around me. It doesn't matter that they stumble, but they're on a course, and they're traveling the course, because whether positively or negatively, I'm going to have a group of peers that I'm going to be connected with. I'd much rather connect with people who've traveled the journey, and people who are like-minded, headed in the right direction. So. Okay.
All right. All righty. I'll read your essay later. Looks like you've written a pretty extensive essay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, you know, kind of going back to what I was going to ask you about the community of PEP. What does it look like when you get out?
Well, you're going to have a great support system. All right. If you're willing to go to a new location, we have transitional houses in that location. You'll also have a life caddy, somebody to help walk you through those early stages. And you got a whole network of PEP graduates, you got executives, you got staff, you got different people that'll help you out along the way. Now, one thing that I've seen in the past is when those stumbling blocks come, and they will come, you're going to have to make a conscious decision to go towards your network versus going off on your own, or sometimes even going back to family, which may be a lot easier or seemingly easier, but it's not going to get you to where you need to go. All right, you'll be held accountable.
And that's what I need, because you know, the only person I was accountable to prior to this trip or any point in my life really was myself. And my best thinking has gotten me in my worst situation. So to have people who are willing to walk beside me and hold me accountable, that's what I need in my life. Yeah,
well, that's what the PEP community offers. We call it living between the wings, and we'll definitely provide that. But we're gonna require just as much out of you. Okay, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So the more that you can develop yourself as a person and hang on to that community and strive to live up to those driving values that we adhere by, then you'll be very successful.
I assure you that if you accept me, you won't disappoint it, because I don't care what standard you or the program hold me to. It won't be as high as the standard I hold myself to.
Okay.
So,
all right. What you think about a sweet name?
I have no problem with that.
All right. You call you Precious?
I mean, that's cool. If I've been called big dog, little dog, all that stuff, I mean, that's cool, because it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to.
All right.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it, Mr. Rios. All right. So when I spoke with Mr. Rios, his application was far different than the previous application. He has his mind made up, but not only does he have his mind made up, this has been well thought out, and he's also showing some concrete actions that he's doing to ensure his success, like the vocational class that he's taking right now. He's looked at the industry, he's looked at what jobs are available, what's growing, so he has a better plan to be successful on the outside, to have gainful employment. And when he touched on community, you know, he knows what he needs. He knows himself better than I could know him in the amount of time that I get to spend with him. But he has thought these things out, and that tells me that he's going to be a good fit for the program. He's willing to give up everything. If you're willing to leave one location and go someplace new that you've never possibly even been before and embrace that community, that tells me that that person is all in. Burn the ships, we're going over here, and we're not going back. So this person is the proper candidate for PEP.
Okay, so we're back. I hope you enjoy those videos. Not those video. I hope you enjoy the two interview, the bad candidate and the good candidate. I know some of you probably the bad candidate, but questioning why did you got picked and went to PEP. Right. Maybe you found some favor in Market's eye.
They probably saw they was in the wilderness.
No, but any guy, well, I hate to say this, but any guys that will reject it, write us again and ask us to give them the second chance, we always do. Right. You know, that's shown that you want something better for yourself.
You know, I think a couple of guys, we got a few guys that probably was denied, but they were so persistent, and Marcus gave them like just a huge amount of homework, and they showed the heart and getting it done in a allotted amount of time. And I would venture to say that most of them are probably doing well on the other side of the fence right now.
Okay. At this moment, we're going to show you another videos, and these video is not something that we're going to do at every segment, and it's a video that we're going to develop. So hope you enjoy this video, and it's also take us to the end of this segment also.
3 minutes. All right, fellas, at this time, we want to go into the 3-minute storytelling. So remember, these stories are not necessarily all exclusive to PEP. They're stories that we believe that you can be inspired by, and hope that at the conclusion of each story that you'll find a gem of information or spark something that you can take with you as you continue on your own path. So, Fee, what do you have for us today?
All right, this is a part of a series of story. We plan to develop at least 10 to 12 stories this year, and each story have a common elements, which is guy have been to prison, and they use their time to doing something to better themselves. And when you listen to this story, you can put yourself in their shoe and figure out what do they do and how they do it. All right, and that way you can continue on your own path with these ideas. Actually, Pat and I, when we're doing this text, this will be the third text of this, so we probably understand how the guys inside feel. All right, so we've been using video to doing a lot of pitches, and then you know they keep taking it over and over, so we perfectly know how you feel. Yeah. So we did research on this story about a week ago, but we didn't really have the script until today. And actually, we just read it several times today, and so we kind of get on the camera and telling you about it. It's a little bit unnatural, and we probably reading from the script below, but enough with that. Here comes the story. All right, so today we want to celebrate a story of a professor from the University of Wisconsin-Oscott. His name is Stephen Richards. At the age of 17, he graduated high school early and went on to attend college. Well, you could make the connection right here, you know, high achiever at the young age to become a professor. Well, it really didn't happen that way. While he was in high school, he lived in an orphanage. While he was in college, he traveled to Mexico. And from there, he experienced the difficulty of how the people there live, and which led him into discovering a very strange and lucrative business for those people who travel back and forth from the United States and Mexico. In 1982, he got arrested, and he spent the next 11 years in correctional custody. While he was in prison, he discovered many men just like him with a similar background, grew up in a broken home, foster care system, and children's home, indifferent parents. He received a bachelor while he was in prison. When he got released, he went back to Wisconsin and attended graduate school. He received his PhD in 6 years after his release from prison. So how did he do it? He used education to curb his recklessness activities.
And you can do it too. The key is figuring out the path you once traveled and identify the source of energy and motivation. For Steve Richards, it was education. What would that motivation be for you?
Well, you can answer below in a comment. Tell us what you think about this story. We're going to continue doing research. Hopefully, we're going to become better at telling you this story.
That's right, fellas. So remember, we're on a mission to celebrate 1 million stories, and today we're one closer to that million. Also remember that freedom demands responsibility, responsibility demands accountability. So until we see you guys again, peace.
Next time.